Have you ever wondered why some people have a lucky charm, while others seem to survive the impossible by sheer instinct? Most people think a school trip is all about singing songs on a bus and visiting museums, but for me, it became the day I almost lost everything. That's why I never go on school trips anymore. But before we get into the heart-pounding details of that afternoon on the mountain road, let's talk about a different kind of struggle. You've probably felt it, that frustrating moment when you understand every word someone says in English, but the second you try to reply, your mouth feels like it's frozen. Your brain knows the grammar, but your tongue just won't cooperate. Knowing English isn't enough. You have to train your muscles to speak it. That's why today, we are using the shadowing technique. As I tell this story, I want you to repeat every sentence after me out loud. Mimic my pace, my stress, and my American accent. By the end of this story, you won't just know what happened on that bus. You'll be one step closer to speaking English fluently. 10 years ago, I was a high school junior in Colorado, packed into a bright yellow school bus with 40 other students. We were heading up into the Rocky Mountains for a weekend retreat. The sun was shining, the music was loud, and everyone was laughing. But as we climbed higher, the roads grew narrow and the turns became sharper. I remember looking out the window and seeing the sheer drop-off of the cliffside. A strange feeling washed over me, a gut instinct that something was wrong. You see, most people ignore their intuition until it's too late, and I'm going to show you exactly why listening to that inner voice saved my life that day. If you want to know the specific sign I saw that the driver missed, keep listening, because that one detail changed the fate of everyone on board. Suddenly, there was a loud pop, the sound of a tire blowing out. The bus jerked violently to the right. Screams filled the air as the heavy vehicle began to tilt toward the edge of the ravine. Time seemed to slow down. I saw the guardrail snap like a toothpick. As the bus began to slide down the embankment, the first life lesson hit me. Preparation is the only thing that beats panic. While others were frozen in fear, I remembered our safety drill and gripped the seat in front of me. We tumbled nearly 30 feet before the bus wedged itself between two massive pine trees. Silence followed, except for the sound of steam escaping the engine. We were dangling over a ledge, and the slightest movement could send us plummeting further. This is where the real test began. I noticed something dripping from the back of the bus that made my blood run cold. I'll tell you what it was in just a moment, and how we managed to get out before it was too late. The second lesson I learned is that in a crisis, leadership isn't a title, it's an action. Our teacher was unconscious, so we had to organize ourselves. We moved one by one, very slowly, toward the emergency exit to keep the bus balanced. It taught me that success requires collective discipline. If even one person had rushed the door, we all would have fallen. As I crawled out onto the cold, hard dirt, I looked back at the wreckage and realized the fourth lesson: life is fragile, and gratitude is a choice. We were alive, but we were stranded miles from help in the freezing mountain air. We huddled together for warmth until the rescue helicopters arrived 4 hours later. The final and most important lesson I took home that day was, fear is a teacher, but don't let it be your master. I don't go on school trips anymore because I respect the mountains, but I don't live in a cage either. I choose my path carefully now. Surviving that crash was a miracle, but it left me with a question that haunted me for years. It's a mystery involving a strange coincidence I discovered weeks later in a local newspaper. I'll share that secret with you soon. But if you think a bus crash on a mountain is terrifying, you haven't heard about the mystery of the village that disappeared without a trace. If you're ready for another story to practice your English and uncover a haunting historical mystery, click the video on the screen right now to learn about the village that vanished.